Quincy City Council President, Ward 3 Councilor Ian Kane, joining us once again for an update on the April 7th City Council meeting. Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm well, Joe. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just waiting for the real spring to arrive here in New England.
Yeah, we're stuck in the tease land.
It's March in April, unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll be complaining about the heat eventually.
Yep, everyone does.
So it was, let's see, April 7th meeting, and you started out with public hearing, right?
No, we had the Public Works Committee had a public hearing. That's correct.
Ah,
So
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, um, which is Councilor Harris's group, just on utilities. And then we had an ordinance committee meeting. And so at the ordinance committee meeting, we discussed a few things. The first was an ordinance that I had put forward last June. After the salaries for both the mayor's office and the city council roles had been proposed, there'd been no process in place to govern how any raise would be looked at, present or future. So I put forward a potential policy that would govern those raises going into the future. So we discussed that ordinance, and we ended up, so whatever was proposed at the beginning, which was kind of a review and approval process, some potential performance-based adjustments, we cut it all down to just that there would be an annual salary adjustment after 5 years of this salary is implemented on an annual basis that's pegged to the consumer price index for the region for the prior 12-month period.
Okay.
So the base salary for both the mayors, for the mayor will go into effect on January 1, 2028, and then the councilors' salaries will go into effect January 1, 2026. But the increases will not start for those base levels until 5 years after that point, those points.
Gotcha. Okay, right. I was able to watch that portion, and that was based on an amendment offered by Councilor Ash, just kind of to, as you say, remove the independent salary review committee proposal, remove the performance-based adjustments proposals. So it seems like, Ian, it takes the public input process of the salaries out of the equation. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with it. I mean, I think it was a fine suggestion. I think Councilor Ash brought up an important point that, you're kind of getting to the place. We're trying to make sure that this was a process that people, again, are familiarized with, that there is a process in place, but took out, sort of any, I think, I don't know what the proper word would be, but hindrances to these things just being a little more smooth. I mean, I guess the way that I look at it is the way that people input on things like, and again, this issue was long and it was drawn out and it was made into something that I don't think was actually about the issue itself, but was about personalities, And I think that people have an opportunity to opine and to weigh in on these things at the ballot box, because especially when it's about personalities. So otherwise, I think that for the roles that are served and the people that, are elected to serve in these seats, this is a fine process.
Okay. I know you're an economics kind of guy. Can you kind of explain what the consumer price index is in layman's terms?
That's a great question. So by definition, no, I can't give it to you. I will send you over something that is more accurate that can, I'm not going to give that to you off the cuff right now, but it's obviously people understand what inflation is or the rate of inflation. It's not that. Consumer price index, I think, is based on like a basket. So let me send that to you.
All right. Okay.
You
Fair
caught
enough.
me on that one, Joe.
Oh, I didn't mean to, honestly. Just out of curiosity, I've heard it, bantered about by.
Yeah, and it was just a base factor that I had seen other things based on, so I just put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was approved by the committee.
That was approved by the committee. Yeah.
Okay, and obviously it's a committee of the whole, so the full council will support it, it seems like.
It was passed, yeah, it was passed out of the full council last night as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there was also, so Counselor Ash and Counselor DeBona had put forward an amendment to the Quincy Municipal Code chapter registering sex offender restrictions. And I think, so there was an update to that. I think it needs to be advertised. And then it'll come back before the committee for either, for a vote.
Okay, yeah, I know they're working with the police department on that, so that's still in process.
That's still in process, yeah.
Yeah.
And the police chief Kennedy was there last night as well. And then there were two pieces of legislation. The first was an ordinance that was put forward by Councilor Minton in the last city council meeting that would allow for municipal employees to be granted leave of absence in the event that they are serving as an organ donor. That ordinance passed out of committee. As it passed out of committee, it passed by the full council last night as well. And there was a resolution that the same Councilor Minton had put forward that didn't need debate. It was already passed through the council. It was put into ordinance for, further discussion. Councilor Minton had some words last night about National Bone Marrow and the Blood Stem Cell Donation Registry and the National Donation Life Registry. And so that, that's as is. That's an expression of support that the council had already supported.
Okay, very good. Then you
Okay.
have a full council meeting.
Yep, then the full council meeting, we had one group, we had the North Quincy High School girls basketball team in last night. Councilor Campbell honored them. There must have been 20, 25 of them that came, which was really cool. Student athletes, all-stars, state play, the whole bit. They were very grateful for their recognition. And I know that Councilor Campbell, whose daughters had probably grown up with these girls, had known them for a long time and appreciated their hard work. We also recognized Councilor Ash and Councilor DeBona recognized Autism Awareness Month. Like I think they said it was the 20th year that this has taken place, and just obviously bring awareness to what statistically is sort of it's startling. 1 in 36 children now are diagnosed with autism in the U.S. and 1 in 26 in Massachusetts. Those numbers seem to be climbing, but we're very fortunate in Quincy to have access to resources between education and social services that are bringing much needed support to families in the community. We had a presentation last night from DPW Commissioner Al Grazioso on the roadway work. This is the bread and butter. High level numbers over the past, from 2018 to 2024, the city has spent upwards of $170 million on roadway improvements. And that's not just paving the streets, that's the water mains, the sewer mains, the gas lines, of course, which are done by National Grid, but the streets, the sidewalks, the curbing, et cetera. Of the 1,035 roadways totaling 257 miles in the city, 304 miles of sidewalk, the roads, let's see, there have been 63.8 miles of roads done over that period, 104.7 miles of sidewalk done over that same period, which is unbelievable. That's a lot of work. And yeah, it's busy out there, and I think that a lot of these main arteries are shooting to be completed within the next year. So you've got, a lot of work on Newport Ave, Furnace Brook Parkway, Southern Artery, Bergen Parkway, Federal Ave, and C Street. And a lot of these roadway projects, the funds for the projects, which in total are about $42 million, are funded through National Grid, federal, and state grants. And it was interesting because I think Councilor DeBona said last night, this doesn't come from the taxpayers. Yes, it doesn't come from the city taxpayers, but it comes from some taxpayers. Eventually. It's kind of an interesting thing. Even the National Grid, which is your your ratepayers, and so it all comes from your pocket at the end of the day, but it's just you don't feel it as much. But it's nice to have those offsets, I suppose.
It's,
That's a
yeah, just figure.
that's a considerable amount of money, $42 million. I mean, that's almost that's more than a fourth of the work that's been done. So
Yeah, it's just bigger pockets, that's all.
yes, yeah, different
Yeah,
pockets.
different bigger pockets, right?
So this presentation, I'm going to put up on, I'll send out in my next newsletter so that people can see what roads are next. I think people like to see the list of, what's coming up. After that, there's an ordinance put forward for the mayor's office amending the municipal code around animal control. So that was just put into ordinance committee. And there was a gift for $100 from Quincy Mutual Aid Association to the DARE program.
Very good. And your next meeting?
The 14th, it's next Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because the 21st is a holiday, right?
Yeah, next Monday. So
Okay. Any items on the agenda you can share right now?
nothing yet. I mean,
Okay.
the agenda meeting's tomorrow, and I'm traveling tomorrow, and I won't be at the meeting on Monday. So you'll have a special guest star that's chairing the meeting next Monday.
Oh,
So
do tell.
maybe they'll come and talk to you next Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Who will that be? Who will that be?
Councilor McCarthy is going to chair the meeting.
All right, very good. I'll touch base with him. We just won't be the same without you, Ian.
Yeah, I know. Hey, just get used to it.
That's true. Any further repercussions from your announcement last week?
Repercussions. No, I mean, I think, well, it's a very interesting thing. I think once you indicate your interest in moving on, or whatever, I think people have treated it like it's over. Then it's not over yet. I still have some months to go, but yeah, no, I mean, I've received some very, very kind messages from people. It's been very nice. It's still a bittersweet thing, of course, and I think we're going to be playing this tune for the next 9 months. So,
I'm probably going to ask you all the time we talk too, but is there a future mayoral aspiration in your history here?
oh, I really have nothing on the agenda. Like I've comfortably made a decision, and I'm going to play out my life. And if there's something that comes that makes sense, we'll see. But there's no plan.
Okay, but you'll share it with us here first.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Big news in Ward 3, right? The Furnaceburg Golf Course is open.
At long last, the Furnaceburg Golf Club is open. It was open to the public last Saturday, the 5th of April. Just big congratulations to the team, led by Commissioner Dave Murphy from the Department of Natural Resources. There's so much work that went into this. His coordination, along with DPW Commissioner Al Grazioso, Public Buildings Commissioner Paul Hines, and everyone in the background to make this project come to life. And the neighbors, I think that this was such a community focused and first and forward, design project at the end of it, and it's taken 4 years, I think, to get there. The concept first came out in, I think, 21. So, it's nice. It's nice to see the product. It's a beautiful building, and I think it's going to get a lot of good public use.
Yeah. Now it looks like there's still work to do across the way at Forbes Hill Park. Is that right?
No, I mean, there's work being done, and there has been work done. It's not totally completed, but
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bit of work to be done.
Sure. And it's open to the public, so folks can check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate the update, Ian. Always good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Joe.